Hello everyone! I'm sure you've seen photographs and other pieces of art that caught your eye and you took some time to admire and appreciate, but have you ever asked yourself why you like it? Psychologist Steven Pinker suggests using a similar technique when learning to write. He says when reading good prose, ask yourself, why did I just enjoy that sentence? What was so good about it? Likewise, when you see a good photograph, ask yourself, why do I like it? These questions can help you understand the work of great artists. They can also help you explore your own sense of taste and style. And exploration is what creativity is all about. My name is Brian Carey. Welcome to Photography and the Creative You. I've chosen 5 photos to talk about, and the first one is The Afghan Girl by American photographer Steve McCurry. This has been called the most famous photograph of all time and was on the June '85 cover of National Geographic. This portrait is of a 12-year-old girl at a refugee camp in Pakistan in 1984. I've seen this photo many times over the years and read many people's reactions to it. And the main thing that grabs everyone's attention are her eyes. They are intense and mesmerizing. This wonderful portrait and her tattered clothing begins to connect us to the struggle of these people and the situation they find themselves in. You can't help but feel for the children and wonder what will become of them. Next is a photo of Salvador Dali by another American photographer, Philippe Halsman. Halsman photographed many celebrities, including Marilyn Monroe, and one thing that stands out in his work is his playfulness. And this was even more so on the many occasions he photographed Dali. The photo I chose is of a Salvador Dali book signing. The unique angle, the animated Dali, and the use of the fisheye lens results in a zany and eccentric photo. The image is a reflection of Dali's personality. I've always said, if you're in a creative slump as a photographer, get out the fisheye lens. Brazilian photographer Sebastian Salgado's work is often dramatic, and we can see much of that in this image. A Desert on Fire was taken in Kuwait in 1991, and here we see one of the men working to cap the out-of-control and burning oil wells in the Kuwaiti oil fields just days after a retreating Iraqi army set them on fire. In this photo we have chaos, danger and the intensity of the situation. You can almost feel the heat from the fires and the urgency here. The framing of the image works well too. This is a photo by Dutch photographer Frans Lanting at a park in Namibia. Here we see the warm light of the morning sun illuminating a red sand dune with thorn trees silhouetted in the foreground in the blue of the shade. This photo was taken with a long telephoto lens, and I read he used a graduated filter, no doubt to keep the highlights from blowing out and some detail in the shallows in the foreground. Perhaps the most striking thing about this image is that it's a surreal photo of a real and existing landscape. Most people's first impression when first seeing this is to ask, is that a real photo? That might be enough to capture people's attention, but the amazing colour palette certainly enhances this dreamlike landscape. The composition of the photo with the horizon in the bottom third of the frame works well too. Lastly, I'd like to talk about one of my own photos. It's my most popular image, the lady in the red coat. It's a photo of a section of my hometown of St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada. This is a view I shot many times over the years, but was never completely satisfied with the light. At one point I was contacted by National Geographic to license one of the images along with 2 others, and the funny thing was they sent me a screenshot of the image and I no longer had it on my website. I replaced it with what I thought was a better image. Later on I shot this one in the rain and drizzle, and as I was there the sky broke and I got some wonderful light and lovely saturated colours because everything was wet. The colour of the houses are a popular feature of the city, and I brought out the saturation a little by bringing up the shadow detail. I would like to add, when I posted this on social media, I got 1 million views on my website in 1 month, and a lot of people asked me, who is the lady in the red coat? She is the only person in the photo, and I think I know who she is, and maybe someday I'll ask her, but I'm not sure if she'll remember where she was on that January day in 2012. But I thought that would be a great name, and it stuck, and it adds to the story. Getting a photo a lot of people can connect with, as have a lot of Newfoundlanders and their families living in other parts of the world, helps make this one popular. One thing that should be said here, and it may seem obvious, is that these photographers are very refined in their work. Over time, their skills have evolved along with their aesthetics, and their ability to see what works and the tools to put it together are what makes for magnificent results. This can happen when you learn one thing at a time, and I hope you learned something here. I'll put links below to the photographers featured in this video. I'll also put links to my own portfolio. And I've got more videos in the works on creativity and the joy of photography. Thanks for watching.